it's my decision to run Matt Brown and punt it. Okay? And I really believed if we punted and pinned him deep that we would have a shot. And then the kid's down there backed up on the 4-yard line, and he completes it on 3rd and 8, and he completes it on 3rd and 6. And obviously hindsight, let's do something different. But those are the plays that can win and lose you games. But when you get back in those situations where they're blitzing you or you're dropping back, now it's pinball. Now it's, you know, we're throwing interceptions, and then they get the whole thing going. And at that point, it's a 2-point game. I guess what I'm saying in a roundabout way is that sometimes you got to manage those situations, and that's what we tried to do in the game because we were in there, we were hanging in there, we were playing good defense. You know, I like to cut it loose a little bit more with them. But again, I got to give Penn State a lot of credit. They closed the pocket on us. They were hitting them many times, and you know, on the interception he threw to Stupar, he got hit. I mean, the ball came out sideways. I mean, right down the hash is Mike Campbell, and you know, he gets hit as he releases it, and then no excuse for the first one, and then certainly the last one was on us.
Do you see things he's doing better now that maybe like even last year, or like I said a month ago or so, that he wouldn't have done?
That he wouldn't have done a year ago?
I mean, like things he's doing better now than even like before the Villanova game.
Sure, I might think he's gotten better in a lot of different ways, but does it always show up on the game, or does it always, you know, I mean, we're playing, like I said, we're playing excellent people. This defense is no different. This is a good defense we're playing. You know, this has been, I mean, for me, as a coach, it's been fun. Because this has been, you know, these guys that we just played, these last 4 guys are 45-10, and this team that we're playing now, they've been winning a lot of games now. Over the last 8 or 9 games, they've been doing a really great job, and they're a good defense. So, you know, we have to catch the ball better. We have to have guys get open. We have to protect better. And nothing's more important than the quarterback. And obviously, everybody sees an incomplete throw, but the reality of it, there's a lot of things that go into it. Certainly the one that we overthrew Mike Campbell, we got to make those plays. When you're in that environment, you got to make those plays. And I think Mike and Chester understand that.
Red zone defense Saturday. I mean, you know, keeping them out of the end zone basically till the end.
Well, we've had good red zone defense. You know, again, I go back to when you're playing like that on defense. You know, you're going to give up yards to Penn State. Again, I think about Michigan State going in there and losing by 40. Or Illinois going in there and losing by 60, or Notre Dame going in there and losing by 25. I mean, our guys had a good look. They thought they belonged, you know, and on the red zone defense side, you know, that kept us in the game. And we just need to make a play. We just need to make one more play. And it was a shame that we let them out because I think the last drive was 96 yards. And that was unfortunate. You know, it comes down to you get him into 2 third-down plays, you pressure the quarterback, which I didn't want to leave, and Mark was exactly right. You don't want to leave that building not pressuring the quarterback in that situation. The kid stepped up. I mean, hats off to him for making the play, but there's some things that went wrong on those plays that we've got to correct if we want to win that game. So, very proud of the red zone defense, very proud of the third-down defense, and just some resilience, and then obviously the kicking game was a bright spot for us, you know, in terms of the punting and coverage.
What is Jeff doing differently this year? Because he wasn't, you know, like you said, I guess there's nothing you can do when they drive 96 yards on you, but he dropped a couple of those punts down inside. It looks like he's got a good touch, and it looks like he's just hitting the ball harder. What is he doing differently than he didn't do last year?
Yeah, to me, I think he has confidence in himself right now. This is kind of how he kicked as a freshman, to be honest with you. We thought we would see this somewhere along the way last year. He lost that. He's gotten it back now. He's worked really hard to get it back, to be honest with you. He's practicing with a purpose every day. He's really, you know, grinding, as they would say, in terms of just every day working on certain segments of his game. He's handling the ball well. His operation is better than it ever has, and that's resulting in better punts. His hang was excellent Saturday. That's why their net was so low, and then he dropped 3 more inside so he dropped 4 the week before and then 3 this week inside the 20. And again, contrary to what happened on the long drive, the stats show that, you know, most teams can't do that. Most teams can't go 80 yards.
Real quick question. The extra point you guys missed, that was a high snap,
correct?
Right? Okay.
Yep, unfortunate.
You dedicate time every week to third down conversions. I mean, last week was probably the worst third down day you've had, and I'm just wondering what to do to address that aspect.
If you got any suggestions, I'm all ears. You know, we weren't good. I mean, I think we were 1 of 11. I mean, again, I don't think you're ever going to be, again, even when Iowa beats them, you know, if you go back and look at Iowa's stats last year, the quarterback has 2 interceptions. You know, they make good play in the kicking game. They play good defense. They run the ball effectively. And even Iowa's not 50% on third down. So I don't think you're going to be 50% in that environment. But, man, if we just get 2 or 3 more, you know, we got a shot. We got a shot. So, again, every year, every game is its own entity. So you can't say, well, hopefully next year, you know, we'll be that much closer. I mean, but our kids learned a lot from that game, and I want to create value in that game and not just focus on the negative, because we did what we did.
Going forward,
learn
you
about it.
concerned about third down
Sure.
conversions?
I'm always concerned about it. I'm always concerned about it. You know, we started off, I think, against Central on defense. We weren't very good. I want to say close to 50%, which is, you know, not good at all for us on defense. You know, we've gotten that down the last 2 weeks. 2 good showings in a row on third down. In the last 2 weeks on offense, we have not been good. So, we have to look at everything. We have to look at, the plays we're calling. We have to look at the design. We have to look at the execution. So it's absolutely a concern, especially when you play this team. They're converting at such a high clip and getting into so many third and manageables that we better convert, or we're not going to see the ball very much in this game.
You talked about the atmosphere up there. I know it's not quite Beaver Stadium, but it's an event up there, and it's loud. And I know last time you guys were up there, you kind of took them out of the mix real early, but the year before it was really a popping atmosphere. Do you guys do some of the same stuff this week, like piping in noise and kind of preparing some of the younger guys who haven't been up there in that atmosphere?
Yeah, I
before?
think so. I mean, I think we know it's going to be loud, and we'll prepare basically the same way. We're expecting a sold-out crowd. It's very loud, and obviously, anytime you get the cadets or the midshipmen when you go down to Annapolis involved, there's a lot of energy. So, for us, it's about preparation. It's about playing assignment football on defense. And to be honest with you, when you play these guys, it's about assignment football on offense, because you can't really – these guys did a great job against us on defense last year. I think that's what might be getting overlooked right now, is that how well they did at stopping our running game a year ago. And so we better come up with some answers here during the week.
What's your run defense, Al? Last 2 weeks you've given up a lot of yards, not a lot of points, not a lot of touchdowns, but a lot of yards on the ground. Are you willing to kind of accept that as long as the final score is kind of what you wanted? Or
scoring defense? Yeah. That's it. I mean, for all the stats, and again, if you have everything, if you're one of those elite programs and you have everything, then it can be about scoring defense, rush defense, sacks. It could be about everything. But for us, it's about scoring defense. It's always been about scoring defense. So would we prefer to tackle better, or tackle Royster on the first long run? Absolutely. We're not going to make excuses for that. But we're also not going to leave our corners or safeties out to dry. And then you're one of these teams that's great against the rush, but you go 4-8, because people are completing big plays. So I think we have a very sound philosophy. I don't think we've wavered in that one bit. Again, you got to give them credit. Good running backs last week made us miss more so, and this is old school football month now. Connecticut, Penn State, Army, Northern. These are physical games, and each game is we got to get buckled up for. So we got to really reinvest in this game right now.
You're playing an option team like this. At the line of scrimmage, is the blocking technique they use different?
Sure. Yeah,
how so?
A lot more cutting. Really not, even their stances are more narrow, and they come off the ball harder than most people because they don't have to worry about dropping back or tipping anything. Basically, they're going that way every play. They got a big 235-pound fullback that they'll put right on your inside people quickly. So that's an issue. And then again, it's just it's a novelty. You just don't see it much. You can prepare for it a little bit in training camp, but the speed, the precision, the execution, the cutting, all those things are new to our kids, and that's the way they want it.
It seems like over the last 2 years, when Bernard's got knocked out of the game, I think it's happened 5 times. The Kent State game, I think being the one exception, he only played